The 90s. Pop star Sophia is stalked by an obsessed fan named Paul. He regularly shows up at her mansion seeking a meeting with her, but each time he's turned away by Sophia's bodyguard, Belle. However, Paul's latest visit takes an unexpected turn. He suddenly severely injures Belle, landing himself in a mental institution. 6 months later, he escapes alongside his deranged friend Penny, and together they show up at Sophia's place so Paul can finally marry the love of his life. Borderline is a movie that doesn't just promise a lot, it promises a lot. It's unconventionally structured, unconventionally written, and unconventionally acted, which makes you spend the entire hour and a half of the film waiting for that unconventionality to finally pay off. Waiting to understand why everything is the way it is, where the creators are heading, what they're hiding, and what they're distracting us from. And that payoff does eventually come, but it comes with a twist. Turns out, Borderline has no hidden depth. A lot of this can be explained by the figure of the film's main creator, Jimmie Warden, who in his personal life is married to Samara Weaving. He wrote the script for one of her biggest hits, The Babysitter, and then stirred up some hype with the script for Cocaine Bear. However, even in Cocaine Bear, it became clear that Warden aims high but doesn't always hit the mark, and this is painfully obvious in his directorial debut, Borderline. This is a film that, like a samurai, has no goal, only a path. Generally, movies are built around a story, its meaning. What is this film about? What questions does it raise? What emotions is it supposed to evoke? In the case of Borderline, it feels like Warden didn't start with the big picture, but with the details. As if he first came up with a series of flashy scenes with cult potential and only then thought about how to tie them together into something cohesive. By the end, you're not even entirely sure who the main character is. Sophia, who spends most of the movie off-screen and doesn't really do anything? Paul, whose obvious schizophrenia makes him act irrationally? Or Belle, Sophia's bodyguard, who, if you think about it, doesn't really affect the main plot. If he weren't there, the events of the film would still unfold pretty much the same way. Toward the end, Rhodes, Sophia's black boyfriend, suddenly takes center stage, but even he doesn't so much act as he reacts to Paul's escalating madness. For most of the movie, it feels like Paul has some secret he's about to reveal, something that will explain why he's behaving this way and what he really wants, but that never happens. Because of these basic storytelling missteps, Borderline fails catastrophically as a thriller. You simply don't know who to connect with or who to root for. That said, the film does have a number of great scenes that, in principle, justify the hour and a half spent watching it, and might even make it a cult classic in the future. First and foremost, this applies to everything involving Paul's girlfriend Penny, played by Portuguese actress Alba Baptista. For example, their vocal duet with Sophia, which suddenly escalates into a vicious brawl. These flashes of creative genius don't make the entire film a success, but they do highlight Jimmie Warden's talent as a writer. It's just that he, more than anyone, needs the firm hand of an experienced producer who could channel his creative energy into something more meaningful.